Let's talk URL homecoming. Let me ask you, brothers, real quick. Are you guys going outside for this? Small, I know you be outside. Lang, you been outside this year. Are you brothers going to be in the building?
I'm not gonna lie, that bill is kind of crazy. I mean, even the
That New
pay-per-view,
York bill
even the
is
money,
different.
right? Even the pay-per-view money is gonna be kind of crazy because we got Queen of the Ring, we got Chrome, we got Homecoming, and then if you don't have the app, so it's only $25 for the Homecoming thing, but that's already like $125 across 3 pay-per-views. So imagine like trying to book flight to NY, waiting in the line, and about around this time it's getting cold. I think I'm gonna hold off. I think I'm gonna hold off. You know,
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what. I would have, with all the cards being in New York in that one weekend, if I had foresaw it all going down that exact way, you know what I'm saying, it would have been a little bit different, but just a little bit of a far trip, man. Still going to be enjoying it from the home. I think it's a solid card, but I saw a few people, man. New York's different. You got to stand outside a much longer time than you do around these other events too. I don't know if that's a 10-hour standing line card, you know what I'm saying, but a good card nonetheless.
Before we go into this, guys, Lang, real quick, what was your thoughts on Homecoming one last year?
incomplete, literally, and it felt that way too. It's like I felt like we had good moments. You know what I'm saying? I felt like we seen Slade. You know what I'm saying? Have a breakout performance, right? You know what I'm saying? I thought Arsenal and I thought Arsenal could have been a lot better. You know what I'm saying? But Jazz has a all time performance against Vixen. You know what I'm saying? Mook and Geechee was the what we came to see. But Jack and Shine don't go down. That was a huge match, right? We want to see Shine back in New York, so it just felt incomplete. A lot of up and downs in the night. I mean, a lot of good moments, but I feel like in terms of an overall complete card, I mean, obviously there's more battles on this homecoming card. I think you have a high possibility of this card being better than the initial one.
Thoughts, Mo?
It was solid. I thought the first one was just solid. You know what I'm saying? I think that this one could kind of file into that. You know, I don't think there's going to be a missing battle, let alone someone as good as K-Shine not battling. I still think K-Shine probably tears the building down, probably kills Jack that night, respectfully, you know what I'm saying, in the battle. And it didn't go down due to very, you know what I'm saying, reasonable reasons why it didn't go down. But it still would have been a signature performance. Most of that night was just signature performances. Jazz over Vixen, Mook over Geechee. But it was okay, some 6 out of 10, whatever. So we hoping that this is at least a point or two up from that.
Let me ask you, gentlemen, a question. Is this giving you the Summer Madness vibes in the sense of the old versus the new?
No.
I see some culture trying to roll with that narrative.
Salute to the people.
I saw somebody say Homecoming, the new SM. You think the card is going to make it that? Maybe it's Homecoming 3. Maybe it's something I don't know about. I didn't see it yet, but no.
I will say, like, I think me and Smoke can agree on this. We would have liked a volume, but we're satisfied with a homecoming though. But we would have liked a volume to close out the year. That's been a tradition. You know what I'm saying? Last year they hit us with the Civil War volume back to back, and I thought that was fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm a volume guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I love ending the year with the volumes. You put them in the small room, have them rap. But this homecoming card is still good though, 100%.
All right, let's dig into this, fellas. Suge versus Ace. I mean, and Smoke, before I hand it to you, sir, you in the building for Suge and Hansel, sir. Can you give us a brief insight on that and dig into Suge Ace? I mean, sir.
Yeah, I don't want to go give too much praise because he ain't on this card, right? But one, I want to say Hansel was amazing before, you know what I'm saying? Before we just talk about Suge performance, Hansel he's arriving, and it's 2024. I want to see a different type of push for Hansel because I thought he had a great performance, and I thought Suge did kind of what Suge has done this year. And it's a little return to form, not his 2022, which is probably the best year of his career, but you're getting one great round in his first. Starts off great. Then you know what I'm saying? It goes down a little bit. And I'd say in this one, there wasn't as many stumbles, shorter rounds. So you don't get the stumbles that you see versus Fonz versus Shuni and the 2-on-2 and the 3v3. But you just get a minute, 32 minutes and kind of at times just dry material. Like it's serviceable. Like he showed up, he did his 3 rounds, but it's nothing that would make me more confident in him going into this battle. I had Hansel 2-1 clear in the second and the third, but you know, we'll let the people decide that when it drops.
If you're Suge, and he's not the greatest angler in the world, but if he does not talk about Ace Amin with Murder Mook and T-Rex outside your Suge, my dude, you are playing yourself. You are playing yourself. Let's be clear on that, my guy. You are Suge, fam. Listen, man. Where's the motivation at, Suge? Real talk, my guy. These short rounds you be giving us, the jersey and everything like that. I'm hoping the motivation is you being at the crib and you know that Mook and Rex is on the car with you at the. You gotta have some type of motivation, man. You know what I mean? Talk to me, Mr. Lane.
If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this.
Okay.
The last time Suge was in NY was maybe.
He said that on Hip Hop is Real. He said on Hip Hop is Real Ab his last time on a New York big
construction.
I'm about to say,
might have lost that battle. That's another conversation.
He has moments. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna.
No, he's great in the battle. He's great in the battle.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But I say that to say this man is the epitome of electrifying, man. I think that I do think that like the motivation has been down in comparison to maybe earlier in the year or last year per se. But I think that being back at NY on a big stage, right, different venue but still a big stage, you know, going against an opponent who's trying to make a leap, you know what I'm saying, to another tier and whatnot. And this is kind of what should specialize in these gatekeeping roles, right? Like Smo used to say, he said that beating Suge is the indicator of what is the indicator of whether you are or have the ability to be top tier. Okay. If you don't get through Suge, that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Suge at this point in time understands that he's like to go ahead.
So Suge is the main gatekeeper. Is it Suge and Danny Myers? Who is it? Both of them. Which one is it? I know it's Sway.
I would say both. I know you have the PG killers and all that between John and Danny. Right, but I'm saying like in terms of who done it the most. I mean, I'll put it to you like this: Suge battled Tay Rock, and he was like Tay Rock's like opening into URL. So I feel like if you talk about the original gatekeeper, I would always say Suge was the original one for me. But I think in this battle,
before Swave.
I mean, Swave is too, but I think Suge has done it more than a lot of other top tier battlers. All right. I'm talking about a guy that had 60 URL battles. A lot of those battles were like, you know, a measuring stick. So that's why I always give Suge credit for that. But in this battle, man, I do think that we're going to get probably one of the better Suge performances of this year. Maybe more on like the Slade side. I thought his performance against Slade was really good. But Ace has been on one this year. I think that he has to bounce back from the Marv 1 performance. It is in New York, and I think that, you know, Ace is good in handling hostile environments. I will say he was phenomenal against Nitty, but there was moments where like he had breathing issues. He had to stop midway in the battle, get some water and all that. I do think that he has to control his pacing in this battle. I do think the New York crowd is a little bit, you know what I'm saying, anxious in that regard in terms of stopping during your raps or having hiccups in that regard.
But Simone and Lang, would you agree if you had to put weakness under Ace Amin's name, it would be to what you just alluded to, right? The pacing, right?
Yeah,
100%. And I don't even think it's his memory, you know. And it almost seems like it's not that's the frustrating part, right? And if you even talking to Ace, a lot of times I don't feel like it comes down to memory. It's a lot of the way he raps. Like clearly, we can tell with the multisyllabic and the way he tries to put everything together at pace. He ends up tripping over a word or misplacing a word. And I appreciate the talent it takes to have that style. Listen, I don't want him to necessarily ever take that part out of his style. But if we get to the point that it continuously is an issue, I mean, it's on you and the MC to clean it up a little bit, which I think he did first half of this year. And then Marv happens. You know what I'm saying? And now it feels like we're back to square one, even though he did great versus Nitty, Arsenal clean. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal clean, competition a little, you know, but he still did great. You feel what I'm saying? And then versus Nitty, he did good, but it's clearly something he's got to clean up a little. And I think optics wise, it's a must win because of what you said, 3. I mean, that situation with Rex and Mook was, it felt very self-inflicted, like the whole way it went down. It's very rare that an interview piece can just like should count against or whatever. But what it damn near did like 80K, 100K. And the situation was very weird. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of talking.
Let's get one thing straight and just boom, sure.
I could very much so seeing that being the starter. You know what I'm saying? But even then, but like Lang said, he expects one of the better Shugs. But I'm worried, man. I think Shug's fatigued. I just don't think there's any way to put it. I think between last year, he was, I believe, the second most booked artist on URL behind None. I could be incorrect, but he was up there. He is the most booked artist on URL this year. Not a lot of like the bigger matchups, but this is his 8th URL battle, if I'm correct. So the man and listen, he feeds his family with this as he should. You know what I'm saying? Getting his reps in, but it's clearly like taking a toll on the material he's putting out and the stumbles. And but not just Shuni, but more than anything, the Fonz battle should be the main indicator of why I'm worried. That is a way bigger match than this. That's a grudge match, the actual Summer Madness, not this summer. No, the real Summer Madness. And he went out the way that he did. So you would hope that he would be better. Back in New York, there is a little bit of a pride factor there. But I've seen Ace be way better throughout the year 2023. I know that's going to be hard for some people to believe. I know that Ace gets he talks a lot, so it involves him having to do much more. And listen, you got the Marvel. It's not a perfect year for him either, but he's been substantially better in cleanliness. He outperformed Suge on SM. Clearly, he was better than Suge on SM when they were both on a big stage. That's not even a question. So for me, this is a must win, really, for both to be great. But I really think Ace Amin needs to win this battle. I think he has all the capabilities and everything going in his favor to win the battle. And I'm predicting Ace 2-1, possibly clear. You know what I'm saying? It could be debatable. I got faith in Suge. He's a legend. It's still a bigger size stage. It ain't no 1,000 people. I think it's 600 in the venue or something like that. But if I got to look at what's been done recently, and less even about Ace being really good, but I'm seeing a trajectory with Suge that's really scary right now. And I've seen him kind of do this before. So Ace 2-1 going in, man, but they both really need it.
Yeah, I'm also
the shoulder bump. Yeah, like.
Yeah, I'm also going Ace 2-1. I think that again we're gonna probably see the best version of Suge this year. But we're gonna need something more than that, especially in this circumstance too. I think Ace understands the circumstance. I think Ace put himself in situations where like he knows that certain plays can put him under a different scope. You know what I'm saying, in the battle rap play. So I'm going Ace 2-1 in this battle.
Simone, let me ask you a question. You know, a lot of times in battle rap, the old cliche is whoever sets the night off, they get the advantage because everybody been online all night. Now you're hearing bars, and now certain lines you can get away with.
The fresh energy, fresh crowd energy.
Exactly. Are we gonna get that with Suge and Ace Amin, do you think?
I think you should. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, it's on them, and both of them are coming in on a little bit of a weird stock, but it's actually almost a rewarding look to come off of some losses and get this type of plate. So there is that possibility that it's definitely going to help the footage. If they had bad footage of the first battle, they're pros. I don't see that happening. Like it being bad footage. And it's my favorite battle from the 3 extra ones that were not extra, but aside, when they dropped this final 3 trailer, we're going to talk about Swamp Blue and Hustle Arsenal. It's my favorite battle of the 3. So you give them beginning of the night energy, you get a 7 out of 10 battle, 8 out of 10 battle. I definitely think they can make something out of it.
Lang, talk to me about Ace Amin. He gets a victory over Suge. Where does that put him in the Cody conversation?
I think he already had a great case of being a part of the top 20, but now you're talking about a solidified case of 15 or higher. I think that when you look, I know the Marv one thing is going to hurt him. Like we know criteria, right? So the consistency part,
Marv is having a good year, but continue.
Marv is having a great year. You know what I'm saying? He's having a really good year. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that the Ace battle helped him out a lot. But in terms of Ace, I feel like this solidifies his spot in the middle of the list. He's not on the outskirts or towards the bottom. He's like in the middle, in the thick of like the best battlers, on the list. So this is a huge marquee matchup for him.
Suge, man, I'm going 2-1, man. On something that Lang and Smo talk about. The motivation, my dude. Come on, brother. It's New York City, my guy. I'm saying Ace Amin can't go in and get the W. He can. I'm just going 2-1 edge, man. And Suge, I'm not even saying my chest out respectfully, dog. You my guy. We off that though. Real talk. Hustle and Arsenal, fellas, talk to me.
Well, you can go ahead.
Start off with it. Listen, Miss Hustle had to be on the card. Miss Hustle is having a great year. Miss Hustle is a big stage performer. New York is too many reasons to not book Hustle. So, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Now, while we had to get Arsenal, it's tough because I think that Arsenal's actually had moments he's been good this year. I give Arsenal a really hard time, but I like some Arsenal. In the 3v3, he was good. He was good versus Magic, right? But through all the years of Arsenal, yeah, and listen, I can name the bad ones too. You know what I'm saying? But I do that more often than not. I don't want to paint that picture, but more, this is the thing. New York big stage. Like when people are legends, we just kind of figure that they rock New York. Like, New York was the mecca of battle rap. Like you'd figure if I told you, Arsenal must have rocked the New York big stage. He hasn't. Him versus K-Shine, I got him winning the battle, but we've all watched Ars versus K-Shine. That footage is rough. Arsenal versus Ill Will was shot through some type of instrument. I don't know what, the footage quality cooked, but that battle had him losing. Not too great there. Briz Rothstein, I don't really got to do that. Let's go to the last one. Let's go to Arsenal versus Swamp.
Yo, that Briz.
What are we doing?
God, man. Yeah, he lost to Swamp last year, homecoming, right? 0-1.
And it was
0-1 homecoming.
terrible. That was the worst battle of the card last year. Listen, I'm not saying don't give Arsenal plates or nothing, but you got to put people in a position to succeed. You see a lot of legends going towards smaller rooms, maybe playing to a better, as you should. You've earned that as a legend. But I got hustled 3-0. I got hustled nasty 3-0. I'm not even go as far to say like just a flat out body. It really, but it all depends on her. I got her winning every round. Ars has a really hard time connecting to New York in his prime. He's going to have even a harder time now. I don't know what big thing Arsenal switches. There's not a lot of style switches with Arsenal. I think it's a clear 30. I'm not a fan of it.
But Lang, before I hang it off to you, brother, Small, let me go back to you right quick. Angles, though, a lot of things are going on hustle this year that could be spoken about, you know, if Arsenal says, how dare you do this, and your name attached to this, and is it not an angle, fellas?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the ghostwriting, that's what it is, right? It's a ghostwriting angle out there. Also, Hustle creates angles for herself, right? She's an outspoken personality, but my thing with Arsenal is effort, man. I mean, I'd figure versus Swamp on homecoming, he'd be way better. I figured versus Briz on the come up. I mean, there's been so many different matchups, and he hasn't really taken an angle and done like a crazy angle in a good little bit of time. I'm not saying he's incapable of it, but
since Geechee.
Yeah, and what was that? 6 years we working that. So I'm not saying he's incapable, but you got to show me. And you know what I'm saying? This matchup is not something Ars has asked for or any of that. I see him coming in there. He's going to rap very fast. He's going to be aggressive. He'll probably bump her. But am I going to see him, take that next level to really get the punchlines where they need to be, do a full executed angle? He don't show that effort. So it's hard for me to bet on that effort.
Stellane.
Yeah. I also have Hustle 2-1. I will say, I don't know how much this is worth, but he just went on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And, said that, hey, he's ready for the battle. But outside of that, man, again, I think it's been like a lot of peaks and valleys this year, right? We talked about him versus Ace a solid battle, him versus B Magic, right? More of like a smaller room. But then we talk about other battles he had against franchise and whatnot. I haven't seen him and Jag yet. I want to see that battle too, but that's still kind of a small room. But you talk about the history of him on big stages. You know what I'm saying? And I pointed out this stat here. I said that he had more good big stage performances in the UK than he has in NY. You know what I'm saying? So that says a lot. And for me personally, I feel like Hustle. I mean, it's true, but I mean, then you're going against Hustle, who's returning to NY. You know what I'm saying? And I think she's starting to hear rumblings about the Eunice battle, right? It's a close battle, right? And I think that her having a close battle with Eunice, even though it's a good battle, she's hearing rumblings about that, and I feel like she's trying to make an example. You know what I'm saying? In the next battle, I think this is a huge battle for her. She's one of the top guys, for a while. And I think it's not Hitman, but it's Arsenal. That's the closest thing you're going to get. I think that she's going to take this battle super serious. So I have Hustle 2-1.
Lang, let me go back to you right quick then. So let me ask you this, and just for shits and giggles here, what if somebody says to you, okay, I had Eunice beating Hustle, so if Eunice can be Hustle, why can't Arsenal be Hustle? Now, I know we're going to talk about the hungry aspect of it. There's a lot of things that go into that battle, right? Eunice to get Hustle, he's making sure, like, you know what I'm saying? So what do we say to that, though? Minus that.
Well, again, outside of the hunger, which is a huge part of it, I just think it's the content. I just think it's the content. I think that I would like for him to emulate some of the stuff he did against B Magic with the pure rapping, layering up your pen a little bit, and then no slight to Arsenal, but like I know it's a 3-on-3, but I really love his verse in the 3-on-3. I'm like, where is this Arsenal? If Arsenal can tap into this, it's like if Arsenal could tap into this for a 3-round stretch with because he already has the veteran part down to it. He has the delivery, he has the cadence, he has the projection, he has the performance, he knows how to, work the stage. If he can just hone into like it's the content, like Smo said, it's really just the content. All the other stuff he has down, but like the content, the attention to detail with what you're writing and how you're rapping is an important thing.
I'd also say the flip with the Eunice situation. Granted, I had Eunice pretty clearly beating Hustle. With all due respect, I thought the first and the third was Eunice's rounds. I know that some people have called it close, but some people call everything close when it's the top tier. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was really good. I just thought Eunice won the battle, but that was also Eunice and Martinez. You know what I'm saying? Got to give some respect. Kind of a home game for Eunice. You know what I'm saying? Very much a home game for Eunice. But now it's Hustle and NY. So not only now, it's not like she went from going to a home game to neutral grounds. She's coming off, in my opinion, what's an L, right? She's going to get a little bit of pushback for it. And now you get New York. That's the big thing for me. And I know I gave Arsenal a lot of a hard time, but it's not all on me just thinking that Arsenal is going to drop the ball. I just think this is super advantageous for Hustle because she's not exactly the most layered writer herself. I think performance and a little bit, her pace, really her pure rapping at times is what gets her over. So if you don't have to get your pen, if she don't have to stress her pen like it was versus Eunice, where you can tell the difference in the writing, well, now you're just asking her to outperform someone. Is that hard for Miss Hustle to do, let alone in New York? I just think it's almost like a layup situation for her. I'd be really shocked if she did not win this battle clear as hell.
But MLang, we haven't even talked. Let's get into this right now. What about the Wody comp implications now for Hustle? Because before you guys go, remember now, I don't know how you guys felt, MLang, but
on in the year.
She's number one.
She was a track star with the Wody conversation. For whatever reason, it came back a little bit. I don't know. Talk to me.
Well, she slowed down in production a little bit. I think she was boom rock, boom my verse, boom, and then once the KCJ one rounder, which I hope they release it just for her sake, but once she had the KCJ one rounder, she slowed down a little bit, had Capo on a one rounder situation. But then now she came back with Eunice. I think it was just a slowdown in production. And I also think that her having a debatable, which I had her losing to Eunice, hurts her case a little bit, you know what I'm saying, in comparison to other ladies. But I do think a strong win over Arsenal on a big stage, on a main stage, does help her case a lot, especially because I have her beating Tay-Rock earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? And I had her, and outside of the Eunice battle, which is a good battle. I know a lot of people are going to use it as a ding, but I think it's a good battle, and I don't think that it should be taken as something that should really, really hurt her like that. But I feel like you have a clear win over Rock on a big stage. That's a major case. Not too many people can say that. So a win over Arsenal helps her case a lot, especially if she not just wins but over wins, have a good performance.
Smo, not getting Jazz and Hustle. What do you think about that? And two-part question, Smo. Two-part question. Also, what do you feel about Jazz not wanting Hustle? Hustle wants to battle, but Jazz doesn't want it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's tough because it's a rematch. We asked for it for SM. I remember talking to everybody, saying this is a SM battle. And at a point, there seemed like there was real traction for it. For whatever reason, now you got there isn't the same want from both sides to make it happen. But at the end of the day, when Jazz is still taking big battles, no matter where it is on big stages, I can only give her, so much pushback. And on top of that, she clearly still wants to battle some of the top ladies. But what am I going to say? She's stuck in Hustle to battle Big K. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. And as for their Wody runs, I think Hustle had number one for Wody up until at the 7th, 8th month of the year. I actually thought Hustle was about to run away with the award. I was talking about, I'm like, this is the year. Jazz ain't really done too much. The RX battle, you got to go through some channels to find that one, even though I had her winning. It's not the craziest battle. And a couple lackluster one-rounders, but at this point, Nitty, Twerk, K. And as for Hustle, you get some one-rounders, Capo, you know what I'm saying? Some decent stuff, but you see what Coffee's doing. You see what Jazz is doing. She's just not matching up. And I think her having a plate is big. I'm not going to act like her beating Arsenal wouldn't affect her case and have her in a good spot. I don't think she can drop no lower than 3 realistically by the time this year ends. But do I think her battling Arsenal in a situation that I feel like I know she's going to, I feel like she should be super duper over the top favorite in this battle. Does that match up to what Coffee's got schedule-wise coming up or what Jazz got schedule-wise coming up? No. So I think she's done enough to keep it in the race, but her peers have got some bigger matchups. And I think the ball's kind of in their court right now, whether they could jump Hustle or fall under her.
MLang, you're good with numbers and everything. Can you give me the Arsenal against females?
So what? He has QB. I had QB winning that. He beat Official. KCJ as well too. I probably has a couple more, but off the top of my head, those are the 3 main ones I think of. And yeah, I had him beating Official, but that was when Arsenal was in a small room. Everything was in a small room. You could argue that was one of Arsenal's best years because everything was in a small room. He just do the pure rapping. But QB on a big stage, I had him losing, and then KCJ on a light work, I had him losing. So,
all right. So both of you brothers got Hustle.
Yeah.
I gotta go
by a lot.
hustle too. I wish I go the other way, Ars. Just to break this up. I wish I could break up the 3 here, but I can't do it, Ars. I gotta go hustle, man. NYC. And something Lang said, man. I mean, Smoke said. I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong, paraphrasing, that Arsenal's record at NYC is not that crazy. Am I paraphrasing?
Especially not on stages, and that's not even including battles like Hitman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure if you go more into even the smaller rooms and stuff, it could get better, it could get worse. But this specific situation, big stage, NYC, I got him 0-4. So hopefully he can make it 1-4. But it's been over 10 years. Is today the day? He'll just have to show us.
Lang, let's go ahead, man. Swamp versus Lou Castro.
So I went on record saying that I feel like this battle means a lot more for Lou Castro than it does Swamp, but it does mean something for Swamp in that Swamp hasn't really been getting the looks that he deserved this year. For him and Chef Trez, great battle, by the way, amazing battle. I think that's both in me and Smo's top 5 battles of the year. For him and Trez to be a band battle and not on like a mega Summer Madness or a mega card, that just hurts, right? You don't really reward him for the year that he had in the past. You're talking about him battling Clean Paper on a big stage, right? But it's Clean Paper, and he's talking about him battling Stumbles, outside. So he didn't really get rewarded for all the work that he put in last year, right? But what he does get is opportunity to perform on a big stage again, right, on a big card against Lou Castro. And quite honestly, I have Swamp winning this battle, but the caveat I have is that I do feel like it's a trap game. I don't think that Swamp should take this battle lightly. This is Lou Castro, you know what I'm saying, in New York, right? He's a fan favorite in regards to New Yorkers or whatever. He's going to be amped. He's going to be super amped for the battle. He's going to be super motivated for the battle because in his mind, he's thinking like, hey, not too long ago, I was one of the top rising stars, right? And I kind of fell off. And now Swamp is pretty much in a spot that I once was or whatever, even though Swamp trajectory is a little bit higher than Lou Castro beginning. But that's how the battle is think. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Lou Castro looking at this as an opportunity to get back to where he was in terms of status. And I feel like Swamp can't take this battle lightly. I have Swamp 2-1. I just feel like he's been rapping better this year. Shout out to Lou Castro. He's been a little bit more consistent this year. He's been battling a lot more. Hasn't really been like stumbling or messing up in battles. He just had a good battle with Bizzle Bonds over in the UK or whatever. So I want to give him credit for that. But I just think Swamp is just battling a lot better this year. So I'm going Swamp 2-1. But I do think that Swamp needs to take this battle very serious.
Smoke, before I pass it back to you, let me go back to you right quick. Would you have had Swamp winning this battle also during the Midnight Madness time? Did you feel Swamp? Would you have Swamp winning that time also?
Yeah, because I also think that like I don't. The thing about that was Swamp. The potential of Swamp has always been high. It was just the stumbling, the choking and whatnot, and that was also around the same time that Lou Castro was having those same issues with stumbling and choking. So I probably still would have had Swamp in the battle too, even in that time period. But I do know that the light was on Lou Castro at that time period.
So what you got, man? Talk to me, brother.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts in this battle. First, I want to say pardon something I said before. I got Arse 1-3 on big stages. I realized I said that wrong. But as for Swamp and Lou Castro, I can't say it enough, man. I feel like Swamp has just been I want to say underutilized. I know some things are a little bit out of his control. We know that there obviously was noise and motion to try to get the Verb plate lined up, right? And then you see what are his 3 probably biggest matchups he could get. It was Verb, it was Cal, it was Goods. They went across the water, man. You know what I'm saying? For the time being. So I think it did mess up the chances of bigger names he could get. And I believe we all spoke to him when we were in the Champion Gold Executive Suite. Shout out Black and everything that we do in there. And he was telling us he really wants to battle Lou. And I think that at this current point in the career, it's a bit of a mismatch. We're talking about a Lou it's in a stock repairing situation. I think that when you look at some of his footage, and he's been on mostly in lower endeavors, he like the 1-rounder with Marv, which is actually really good battle. You know what I'm saying? He had the 1-rounder with Big Cannon. Not as good for him. You know what I'm saying? But he was clean in the battle. The 2v2, he was obviously really good on No Impact. So you're not getting him in a lot of like 1v1 3-rounders where we can really, really, really judge where he's gotten to. But it definitely looks better than 2022 and the end of 2021, which I don't want to go over, but we all know is a mess. So you do put him in a situation. I think he's better on stages. He's got natural charisma. You can't teach what Lou Castro's got. You got it or you don't got it. But one part of the game is the talent, and then the other part of the game is what am I doing with the talent? You could have all the motherfucking talent in the world, but you got to use it. And he's had problems even when he's clean using it. Leans on slogans, little, you know what I'm saying? Does a little bit too much here. While Swamp, in my opinion, Swamp beat Nitty, Rock, and Suge last year. It's not a lot for him to show me. I think he's a top tier talent. In my opinion, he's got one of the 5 best battles this year with Chef Trez, which we begged for. We're like, give Swamp a real op. He did it, and it's one of the best battles that they've had this year. I don't know what more the man has to do to get big plates and big opponents consistently. He should be a cornerstone piece for URL. And for that reason, I got Lou being the best he's been in one of these bigger matches in a minute, but I think Swamp is just better. I got Swamp 2-1 clear, if not 3-0. And giving a real dominant performance and kind of making up. I thought he was decent last year. I thought Ars bogged him down, but I think he makes up for that, and he makes the most of his opportunity here.
Hey, Lou Castro, I say this with utmost respect, and this is no insult to you, King. I promise you. I want to ask you brothers a question. Are we worried about Swamp not being motivated for this battle to something that you said a second ago, Lang, about the people that he really wanted? You know?
Yeah, no, I don't. I think he's going to be motivated off the strength that he knows he hasn't gotten that many big opportunities this year. And then another thing I was going to mention is that the Calico battle is not off the table. Calico recently just tweeted, you know what I'm saying, throwing breadcrumbs out there like, hey, I don't think Swamp is all that. So I think that Swamp understands that, like, in order for that Cal battle to happen, he still has to maintain that same level of momentum going into next year. Because a lot of times losing these end of the year battles hurt a lot going into next year because that's the last thing we remember. So I do think the motivation factor is like, let me preserve those places I'm looking for going into next year. So I wouldn't say the motivation is not there for Swamp, but I would say that, like, he's going to be going against Lou Castro that's a little bit more enthusiastic than he has been the past couple battles.
Well, Smo, would you agree that at this battle, are we looking for Lou Castro to rebrand himself within URL, within the culture, within us?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're talking about an onslaught. Forget just the losing part, right? Like, it's because people have lose, people have downs, but especially early in your career, we gave Sick. He had a lot of good losses. We look at some of our legends, Calico, Tay-Rock, you know what I'm saying? They got losses early on in their career. So it's not just about that, but it's about the dramaticness, man. I mean, we're talking about getting bodied by, you know, Jerry West, drugs, and the list goes on. And you can't be getting bodied. That's not how it goes. So for me, it's all about competitiveness and footage. And I'd like to see him be more competitive. But the truth is he could go on to lose this battle 2-1 clear, and it's still a great look for him if he holds up his end of the bargain. I feel like this isn't a matchup you need to throw him right into on his return, but we're talking about just building up slowly. So I'm not expecting him to just flat out win by any means, but we need something to hope on. Like, after we haven't gotten a lot to look at in the last year and a half outside of flashes and a couple 2-on-2s, and that's not what makes you top tier. And he's too good to not be in those combos. So for me, the win, I hate to even say this, the win should be more important. It's not about that. You need to be good across 3 rounds, and that's really the objective for Lou here at the end of the day. It should be a higher bar, but it's the bar that's set right now.
I got Swamp with his battle 2-1, man. Let me ask you a question. I saw Lou Castro saying yesterday that media, bloggers, all this other stuff, and some people are saying that to him, he hasn't lost a battle all year. I know you guys follow everything. What's your take on that?
I think he's trying to build his case. He's right. He's being strategic, and I respect him for it. But as a person that has watched his battles all year, even if you want to say you have a case of winning all your battles, you know what I'm saying? That's for us to decide, first and foremost. And then secondly, the big cannon battle happened. Like, we're not just gonna just dismiss that. And on top of that, it's like
1 rounder, so we're not gonna hold it crazy against him, but he's the one who said he hasn't clearly lost. And it's just not true. But he still had definitely a better year than his last year. He's working in the right direction. But at the same time, you a battle rapper. You're not supposed to say you lost. Like, it's a great lie. So keep going.
So I'll catch an L. How bad is that? Bad?
Yeah, it would be bad. Especially with how he's trying to, like, ascend higher to more place. Like, he really, really wanted to battle Goods on Homecoming. And he really wants to battle Goods.
I mean, cut your wisdom, my brother. How did both you brothers feel about Swamp and Goods? I wasn't crazy about that. Am I bugging?
I think it's a good matchup. Yeah, I think it's a good matchup because I think it's a difficult matchup for Swamp. In order to be a top tier, you have to win those difficult matchups. Like, Goods and NY was going to be a tough matchup, and I just wanted to see how he would handle it. So I wanted it for the sake of seeing how Swamp would handle it.
I prefer Cal and Verb. Shit, I prefer T-Rex. That's a matchup I personally like that hasn't been talked about a lot. There's a few matchups for him, but it's, it's not as pen heavy. It's focused more on the talking portion. So I wouldn't have minded it. And one more thing is, I think you spoke to his motivation in this battle. One thing I got to give Swamp, someone who's been kind of a career choking, stumbling here and there. He's battled down almost all year, right? He battled clean and stumbles, which were way below probably where he was stock-wise. And he handled business to the core. He 30 both of those gentlemen. So I would say in the past I'm worried about Swamp's motivation, but he's showing me a new part of his game. You know what I'm saying? Like going from last year to now, he's growing. A lot of those, he might have dropped one being silly. Instead, he's got a clean record. So I'm not as worried about that in 2023 as I might be 2020 Swamp, 2021 Swamp.
Are you brothers and have any concerns about both of these brothers have the case of the stumblitis at times? Are you worried about that? We think both.
Not this year.
Yeah,
it couldn't be them.
All right. So we're in agreement of that, man. All right, fellas. Let's go ahead, man. T-Rex versus Chess.
The battles.
Oh man, this battle right here. I'm gonna stick with my original pick, but I'm gonna break it down really quick. I think that they've been calling for this battle since a couple years. I think Chess had his situation against Suge, and then right after that, it's like, hey, T-Rex, when are you ready to be back on stage? I'm ready to be back on stage when Chess is not throwing up. He said, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, there's been rumblings since then, you know what I'm saying, since last Summer Madness. The motivation factor is there. I mean, they've been talking shit for a while. Like, so the motivation is not what I'm concerned with. I'm just concerned with two things. First thing, on Rex side, can he be consistent throughout the entire duration of the battle?
Okay.
Because his problem is having great first rounds and then dipping after that. I thought that he was good against Big K. He was consistent. I would have liked better material. I want you
to finish. But can I say this though? T-Rex second round wasn't bad though, brother, against Big K though.
That's what I was saying. I'm saying he gave me a little bit of that in the Big K battle. Right. I just think he needs a little bit more of that in this battle, right? So him being consistent throughout a three round stretch. For Chess, it's simple. No mishaps. Like, just no mishaps, please, because I think we all know that, like, in terms of the talent perspective, I think that at this point in time, Chess ceiling is higher than T-Rex at this point. So when we say this battle is close, it's because we know, like, there's so many variables going into this battle. And then, quite honestly, if I'm being transparent, I'm going T-Rex 2-1. I just feel like he's going to be a little bit more consistent in this battle. I recently just seen Chess, although it was a good battle, I recently seen Chess have like some of those same issues against Swervo in the first round where he had to catch his breath. He was, belching and whatnot. I don't know what that was, whatever, but all I know is that those situations on a big stage in New York amplify even more. And my thing is just like, once you lose like that momentum in the first round, it's very hard to get it back throughout the entire duration of the battle. Like, once you lose the crowd, in that particular sense, it's over with.
Well, are you saying about Chess or period, overall period?
I would say both, but like the thing is like it's different in having like filler material that's not good, and it's different than like when you choke or belch and
yeah. So let's stay right there. Would you agree when Chess battled DNA, right? Small and Lang, that after the first round he had slip ups. After that, it was smooth sailing for Chess. If memory serves me right.
But that was early on though. That was early on, though. That was when they were trying to give him.
I got to throw the highlight on this, sir.
No, I understand that.
He's had plenty of battles where it looks like, you know what I'm saying, like it's like it happens pretty much every battle that he clearly has whatever it is, whether it's, coming up, even if he doesn't throw up kind of his situation. But there's plenty of times he went in the second and third and still held it down. But the problem is that now we're seeing more of a tail off, like versus Calico, you know what I'm saying, versus Suge. You're seeing that get to his head, and then the choke comes out. Because the whole debate is throwing up like choking. Well, it doesn't matter if you do both. It's like we keep ignoring it. Like, it's got to be one or the other. Like, he's the first versus Cal he threw up, but then he choked the third. He had the thing versus Suge. So I almost want to say that he could. You really can't have any of those mishaps, but physically it just looks like something that's might be beyond his control, especially in bigger venues. But for me, it's a Rex 2-1 for me as well, man. I think it's a battle that at times I was a little bit skeptical of because of possibly the inconsistencies of either of them. And I think Chess is the better talent. You know what I'm saying? Chess should win the battle clearly, but it comes down to betting on consistency. And even he was good versus Swervo. I had him losing clear, and he completed his rounds. He gave a full performance. And Rex has done something that we like to see. He's got 2 competitive rounds. Rex is always good for 1, even in the eras where it hasn't been the best, the easiest of times for him. But you'll see the first round versus T-Top, he trails off. You know what I'm saying? Or the first round versus Shine, then he trails off versus Big K. His second was great. His first was pretty good. He lost it. I think people did a lot, but that can beat a lot of people. A lot of people thought it was formidable that night. So I got to go Rex 2-1. He's showing me a little bit upwards, and Chess has just got to prove to me at this point.
Smo, do you think that Rex has got the breath control down pat now? Or some still we have to?
It's so tough on a big. He hasn't been back in like a big stage situation since. So it's one of those that I'm kind of holding my breath on it, right? But I'll put it like this. I'd rather you have, if it comes down to it, I'm going to bet on someone having a dry round or a bit of a slow down round over choking.
Okay.
Like, is this, if I have to go, because both of them have inconsistencies in 2 different ways. Rex don't be choking. Rex be just running out of, he just mixtaper out of nowhere. He's running out of breath. And Chess has all the material in the world, but sometimes he fails to deliver that to the public. And I just think bigger stage, that's a lot of pressure for him, where Rex is actually the best he is in big stage New York. That's where you get some of your best Rexes at. So I haven't bet on Rex. I haven't predicted Rex to win a battle in a very, very long time. So it's taken a lot for me to say this, but I can't keep betting on a guy that's not bringing me the returns back. And Rex, even if it's only a couple battles, he's going up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see that he's getting better. So,
do you gentlemen, let me sling it to you right quick. Do you have Rex in that first round with nostalgia purposes, hat slamming?
I was just gonna say that first round is gonna be electric, man. That first round is gonna be crazy. And then you got to think the love that Mook got. You know what I'm saying? Back in last year, the love that Mook got in last year.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like Rex first round is going to be electric. You know what I'm saying? And I think he can. I think he can. If he can stretch that over a 3-round period, then we may have an issue. You know what I'm saying? We may have an issue for Chess. But yeah, I'm going Rex 2-1. I'm going Rex 2-1 as well.
I'm going Chess 2-1, but I got concerns. Chess. I thought Swervo clearly beat you, bruh. Like, clearly, fam. Yo, and let me just, we don't, Swervo, let me just say this right quick. Swervo, I'm very highly impressed with you, brother. I'm highly impressed with Swervo. But here's my concerns. If you're Chess, are you concerned about Rex having the whole dot mob behind him? Like, he's going to have the whole New York City behind him and everything. Are we watching Chess to choke? Do y'all feel people watch Chess battles to see if he's going to have hiccups?
I mean, certain fans are like that, but I think people are really. The funny thing about it is, I think that Chess is such a fan favorite that in New York he's going to get a lot of love too. I think they're both going to get a lot of love. I think, but at the same time, it's like I think we're at a point now where it's starting to become a habitual thing, where as soon as he messes up, he loses the crowd. You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to play a major role. But I think they're both going to get a lot of love. They love Chess over there. 100%.
Give us a Tay-Rock first round, my brother. Just give us. I need one of those, bro. I need you to shake the room like that, though. But I'm going. I know Rex ain't happy when we say it. I'm going just 2-1, man. Next battle, fellas. Serious Jones versus Geechee Gotti.
It's solid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here. It's not a battle that listen, I'll tell you if I don't like a battle. I told you I don't like Hustle versus Arsenal, respectfully. So it's one of those things. If I feel like it's just solid, it's just solid. A big part of that is Geechee just battling good. So let's say in one way it could play out, even if it's lopsided. I'm watching Geechee Gotti raps this year. You know, I have full faith that he's going to come avenge his performance from last year a little bit. You know, there's going to be, you know, Sirius was behind him dancing, right? There's that like fake little storyline, you know what I'm saying? Makes it fun. But Geechee just been rapping good. It don't matter. He rapped good versus Jay. He rapped good versus Bad News. He rapped good versus Regular News. Shout out Battle Academy. You know what I'm saying? So he just rapping good versus everybody. And as for Sirius, I'll tell you this about Sirius. And this is the thing, man. Sirius Jones is a winner. Like, he really, if people might not like to say it, it'll be good battles sometimes. And outside of even the battles that he don't win, like a Rum Nitty where he lost judges, a lot of people that show him love. But Jones's problem is footage. Like, there's a lot of Jones battles that just don't be getting playbacks like that because people feel even if he won ugly, or he kind of walked the guy down, rapped a long ass time, right?
The diss battle.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He beat JC, pretty good battle, you know what I'm saying? But it raps long as hell in that battle. But big stage, he's been good on the big stage before. DNA, Gnome 5 going back. It's been a minute. Ill Will, a little bit of not as big of a venue, but Clips. I go on and on. So there's good results. But in the modern era, you know, footage isn't how you judge it, but he's got a big room. You don't have as much to work with error-wise. Like you can't, in the smaller room, you go through a bad pocket, you go through it. You go through a dry pocket on a big stage in NY, they might kill you. You know what I'm saying? This is not your regular audience. So Jones is good enough to always make it competitive. And even though it might sound crazy to some people, I got Jones at least getting around in this battle. Absolutely. He's just a winner. Even if you don't like the footage, I respect winning more than anything at the end of the day. But Geechee's rapping better. Geechee is better right now. We're talking about a guy who still looks like, even if it's the tail end, who knows if it's the middle of his prime, but he still looks like he's prime Geechee, rapping motivated. So I got Geechee Gotti 2-1. It could be a 30 because he has that type of explosiveness. But I mean, I got to give Jones a lot of respect. He don't be getting 30 like that. So
before I go back to Lang, Small, let me stay with you for a second. Would it surprise both of you brothers if there's cringy parts in this battle?
It's gonna happen. There ain't no surprise.
I'm not trying to negative Nancy here. I'm not trying to negative Nancy, but
nah, man, it wouldn't surprise me.
Talking in between rounds and stuff.
It wouldn't surprise me, man. I will say I have Geechee 2-1 as well. I can pretty much just co-sign everything that Smo said. Serious Jones does find a way to win battles. And the funny thing about what Smo said about elongated dry spot, I remember his first round versus DNA wasn't good at all, but then he picked it up in the second round. He had the crowd rocking. So I do think that like the first round, they probably if Serious doesn't have a great first round, they're gonna give him a little bit of grace. You know what I'm saying, off of respect or whatever. But my concern is that like can Serious be good for all three? And before he had a situation right like against JC, the Chilla battle wasn't good, but JC. Swamp and all that. He had moments that weren't good, but like overall, he was solid. That was in small room settings. I think on a big stage, it's going to be interesting to see how he can like outlast Geechee in this battle. But I have Geechee 2-1. I do think Serious could take a round, maybe the second round. But that's how I'm calling it.
Does the crowd try to front on Geechee, fellas, this time around? Again, I thought they were front on him a little bit.
I didn't think he was. I didn't think they were fronting on him. Honestly, I think that he actually got a decent amount of love. You know what I'm saying? Granted, right? I do think that like Mook goes, and obviously the crowd is not as receptive as to what Geechee was saying. But when Geechee opened up, I thought he had the crowd rocking the first round. I think it was more about Geechee. He got love in the second, right?
A lot of love, but I don't think. I think it was more about Mook getting this much love than it was about Geechee not getting cheers. And Geechee just wasn't that good versus Mook. Yeah, like I know that there's all this. He wasn't that good. He was struggling all through. His second is his only legible round. He wasn't putting together great haymakers. At the end of the day, it just wasn't a good day in the office. And I don't think that dictates who he is in New York.
His first and second was his best round. I don't think his third was his worst round. His third was when he kept stopping and talking like, "Hey, I'm gonna get back to you. Hold on. Like, wait. Like, yeah, he was talking to the crowd the whole third. I think it was just. He lost composure. You know what I'm saying?
He's way better. Way better. And he's been good in New York before. He's great versus T-Top. So
both your brothers got Geechee?
Yeah.
But I don't got Serious doing bad though. Like I don't really got him doing that bad.
Me neither. Do you agree with us, Lang?
I mean, no, I have to see it because on a big what you asking for, I gotta see it. Like I don't necessarily. I think he's done enough to where I can assume he's going to have a good performance. But again, on a big stage, like I remember him going against DNA, and I only liked his second round. The first and third, not so much. I need that for a 3-round stretch. I think the consistency needs to stretch across 3 rounds.
Right person about DNA? I don't know. I got a question, though, sir. I don't know if you're the right person to ask about DNA, sir. I don't.
What? You didn't. What? What's the question?
He won that battle. I'm bugging. What? Did DNA clearly beat Jones?
I mean. People say the third is debatable. I don't think the third was debatable, but I think Serious took the second clearly. I thought his second round was his best round, probably one of his best big stage rounds out of like his entire career, in my opinion.
Lang, talking about Geechee winning this battle. What we doing with Cody talk here, brother?
I think he sits anywhere. Like I think he is way above the 10 spot. I do think the coffee loss hurts him a bit. A lot of people have spun the block and said the battle's debatable. I personally had Coffee winning. You know what I'm saying? I think that this battle does help if it's a dominant win. If it's a mucky debatable, it doesn't help him at all. I think what he's doing is he's trying to get a high profile name and get a dominant win in that regard. That way he can make a case saying, "Hey, I've been dominant all year." Like he just had a good battle with Jada Nightwing. I can't wait for that to drop. So that helps him a little bit. But I think it's more about him wanting to make an example than it is about like having a great back and forth for Serious Jones.
Smo, talk to me about Cody for Geechee, and talk to me also about the Jay the Nightwing battle, because you were in the building. How much would that help him when the footage drops?
Oh, though that's going to be a humongous help, because him and Jay the Nightwing is really, really, really good. You know, and we've heard even some better reviews, right, of talking about how there's some
Eddie Myers. Y'all share the same sentiments, okay, brother.
But it really, really. We gave it on our Let's Talk Battle Rap written review, which you can find at letstalkbattlerap.com. We gave it a 4.5 stars out of 5. So obviously, we feel very strongly about the battle, and particularly, I think Geechee had the more complete 3-round performance. Jay's first starts a little. Not bad. It picks up at the end, so it's not a bad round. But Geechee's first, second, and third are all fire, and mostly rapping. I know some people have said Geechee's gotten away from the straight rapping from the beginning of his career, the true every effing bar. You know, people said he's kind of dumbed it down. But in that battle, I thought in the first round he just punches his head off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you still get the angles, and you get the freestyles. That's a complete performance. So if anything, I think the Jay battle is probably the second best piece of work that he's going to have out in the year. I'd be looking at it, what's their best work? And then I get to ranking it mentally. And obviously, Easy the Block Captain battle, you know, and then, but I got the Jay battle as his second best showing of the year. That's going to do him a lot. As for Jones, I think Geechee's kind of building a war chest of decent wins and performances around a great piece with Easy. Like, I think in other years you see him, he'd have it Easy, but he'd also have a Rock, a Arsenal, a Surf. You know what I'm saying? All in one year. This year it goes right from Easy to Jay, Bad News, and Serious. They're not bad battles. It's just a little step down. But as long as he stays consistent, I don't see the case that he has like a K, like a Twerk, even like a Trez. But we're talking about a top 5 guy this year, or at least somewhere in that mention. I don't think that you could have 6 or 7 names without Geechee, and you could very much so have 4, and he's the 3rd or the 4th. So I think he's just making a good case to get another great placement. I don't know how much his real contention is, but depending on what everyone else does, he smokes Serious and does great versus Jay. What happens if K and Twerk lose? You know, it's still open, but he's up there. I'll put it like that.
And one thing I would say in that regard is that I feel like Geechee, Smoking attached to this, Geechee is like a criteria monster. Like, he's automatically going to check off performance, impact, moments, just naturally, right? But then I think it's also the fact that like you can low key outside of coffee check off consistency too, because I think he's been taking every battle serious outside of coffee. Like, his material versus Bad News was great. His material versus News was great. His material versus EK was like really good.
The Hollahan material wasn't bad either. The 3rd round Patch Day tribute, we love that.
Right. So like, I think he's been taking every play serious. You know what I'm saying? So and that's another thing I can accept, because like even to the point that Smo was saying, like, he usually has a bunch of big names, right, that kind of keeps him in the conversation. This year, he's in the conversation off of having the big moment with Easy, but also taking even the smaller plate series and having good performances in those. So I want to give him a lot of kudos for that too, because I don't feel like he really played down in competition this year.
Can he get 4-time champion?
It's going to be a stretch. It's going to take a lot of drastic. You know how like the playoff scenarios, like okay, the number 1 seed and number 2 seed have to lose by this amount of points, and then the number 4 seed has to have a tie. You know what I'm saying? It's like something like that.
Let's go ahead, fellas. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Y'all the best person to talk about this. Jazz beats Big K. John beats Easy the Block Captain. Geechee beats Serious Jones. Twerk loses Murder Mook.
So everyone loses but Geechee? Hey, look, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those where the like Lang said, I think he could, but I don't think his destiny is necessarily in his hands. Like, I think he could do great and finish high. Listen, if you're the 3rd or 4th best battle rapper of the year, that's fantastic. But for you to be number 1, there's guys that I just think have a little bit of better year, and they probably have to take a hit for him to make the jump. But hey, listen, if everyone else, all the others lose and he wins, it's going to look crazy. And it definitely could open up a conversation. I ain't ruling it all the way out.
He's like in the playoff picture. He's like the top of the hunt, and then you got the wild cards, and you got the divisional, the people that like clinch division. Like, you know, he's in the hunt. You feel me? He's in the hunt.
All right, fellas, go ahead. Main event, fellas. Murder Mook versus New Jersey Twerk. Main event, fellas.
It's I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this. A god tier, right? That's when we start, and a lot of people, the word god tier gets used a lot. The battle, like, you know, everyone, no, there's really only a few amount that pop out once a year and get called god tier. No matter how you feel about Mook, he's one of those people. He pops out, money starts printing, and people start buying tickets. And you get these big time matchups. He's going to promo it properly, as I wish more battle rappers did. They could take a little bit of they could take a note or two from what Mook does just in interviews, the little things. But with that being said, it couldn't be more fun. You got somebody who is maybe just off of pure talent, the most explosive battle rapper that we've ever seen. And you put him in maybe the most hostile, this guy's crowd environment that exists in battle rap. I think we always say a Verb in St. Louis, right? And Mook in New York is one of those that you put in there. I'm excited because I think Mook is going to do good. I think that it's so funny with Mook. There's always, is he better in the small room? Is he better in this room? Is he better in that room? I think he's a good battle rapper. I think he loses some days and he wins other days. I think there's a lot of trying to categorize him, but he's got some good big stage. He's got some good small room. He's got some bad small room. He's got some bad big stage. But I think this goes more on the good side. He's done really good so far against the newer age guys, right? Versus Rock. Obviously, his third ends up tying the whole round, the whole battle together. It's kind of crazy how it worked, but it was a good performance overall. Versus Geechee, explosive performance, clears out Geechee. I do not have him beating New Jersey Twerk, though. I'm so impressed and really happy that we're finally getting a Twerk that cares each and every single battle. He still had 2018, he battled JCs and Arsenals and Shugs, and he's had great performances too. But this year is complete. The most he came close to choking was he stumbled a little versus Trez. That's still an amazing battle and a debatable battle. And I just think that his bag is deeper than it's ever been. He's doing more jab and more rhyme pockets, more angling. He's a complete battle rapper. So I mean, we got so many different ways to look at this battle. But going into it, I expect them both to be great. But I think Twerk has his defining moment, man. I got Twerk 2-1.
Mr. Lane.
Yeah, this one gonna be one of a few times that me and Smo disagree. It's not even I disagree with his sentiment because I agree with his sentiment, but I personally have Mook 2-1. I guess for me, like, I don't really see Mook lose back-to-back battles. And I think Mook understands when he loses a battle. He may not openly say it, but like when he feels like the pulse is that he lost a battle, the attention that he places into the next battle is usually like something like crazy. Or even if it's a bad battle, like, because like after the Verb battle, whole press run, talking to everybody, and then even though it's supposed to be Briz, end up being Rock, he has a really great performance, right? He has a rebattle, not good. Rebattle is not good at all. You know what I'm saying? He gets a lot of backlash from that. He goes in and does what he does against Geechee, and then now he's talking about the Big K battle. You know what I'm saying? On RBE, right, in a small room. You know what I'm saying? It was a 50-50. He was low-key favorite to win in that battle too. And I feel like, you know, he feels like he won, but he knows that that's not like the overwhelming majority. I feel like in this battle in New York, on that stage, he is going to give a great performance against Twerk. He was there front and center watching Twerk did what he did against Hollow, a guy that Mook really respects as a battler, as a forefather of battle rap. I think that he's been scoping Twerk for a minute. Since Twerk called him trash in like 2018, 2017, I feel like he's been had a clip for Twerk since then. I think Twerk is going to be great. Right.
It was Anwar. Was it Anwar and Twerk having Anwar and Mook having a conversation? Or Hip Hop is Real? I saw a clip about that about a while ago. So the season been playing it thin, and then like even and then I also think that Mook feels disrespected because, you know, Twerk around the 2-on-2 when it was him and T-Top versus Mook and Cal, which was a weird 2-on-2. That face-off is crazy.
Around that time, right, Twerk saying, you know, I give him his respect as, you know, one of the founding fathers of battle rap, one of the biggest faces, the foundational piece of battle rap. When it comes to this thing of ours with the rapping, the rhyming, the lyricism, the punches and all that, I don't think Mook is one of those type of guys. I feel like Mook takes that very, very personal. Now, does that equate to a win? We'll be yet to see, but I personally think I have Mook 2-1. I think he's going to be super motivated. And I also think Mook is also feel disrespected because in his interview, I watched the whole hour of it.
Me too.
He was like, Twerk is still battling before me. Why? Why is he doing that? Does he not know who I am? You know what I'm saying? So he's taking it as disrespect. And I think that's going to even amplify what Mook has to say even further. The Shotty Horror situation, you know what I'm saying, happened too. I don't know if Mook is going to use that as a talking point as well too.
Stay there, Lang. I want you to stay right there. Stay with the Shotty Horror talk. So let me ask you brothers a question. Him not battling Shotty Horror, isn't that more reasons why we should have more faith in Twerk going into this battle? The fact that he doesn't have to waste his material and brain cells on Shotty Horror and the focus.
It for sure helps him. It for sure helps him. But in terms of a talking point, even like Mook is one of those guys that can make an angle out of practically anything. And there's a couple battlers like that. And even though we understand the circumstances of why the battle didn't happen, there's still something he can pull away from that situation too. So yeah, man, I think Twerk is going to be great, but I'm actually edging Mook 2-1 just off of the strength of him just not losing back-to-back battles. That's why I'm at.
Okay, I'm going Twerk, man, 2-1, man. Shocker, right? But would it shock me if Murder Mook was this battle? Not at all. Let me just say this right quick, man. For Murder Mook to be Geechee Gotti, Tay Rock, and then a New Jersey Twerk, fellas, what are we saying about Mook?
I mean, it helps. I'm big on it. This is a combo that we don't have a lot in battle rap. I'm big on all-time talks. You know what I'm saying? So right. It could get a little convoluted because we all believe in different things, but I don't like Mount Rushmore. I like all-time top 10s, top 20s, stuff like that. And I feel like if you already don't have him at the top of the list, if you're a newer era fan that might consider him more of a Bill or Will to the game, and you feel like maybe these Bronze and Jordans have went by him a little bit, right? And they keep dropping down. It changes that because he's in the modern era and he took out what some would say star power rise is probably the 3 best, maybe even skill wise the 3 best. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of wins to their name as well of the newer, probably 2015 to now superstars. You know what I mean? So it's a humongous win for the catalog. I'm not going to say it makes you feel night and day different because I'm not one of those that's like, you know, people are either like Mook's the best ever. He's a wash legend. I don't think either of that. I think he's an amazing, amazing all-time battler. I think the game at certain times moved past him, but he's adapting. It would just show how good he is at doing that. And it would probably cement why Mook, probably to many, would be a top 10 battle rapper of all time type of conversation, if not higher. So,
wow. And I also think it reinforces, like, you know, the stigma that we had on God tiers in terms of, like, them resting on their laurels, right? I think Mook doing what he's doing right now. And I spoke with somebody, I'm going to shout him out. I spoke to Tito about this, right? Because we had a conversation about just God tiers and like, you know, what are they supposed to do? What are their responsibilities? And I was saying like, well, I feel like Mook and Lux traded places. I feel like there was a time period where Mook took his hiatus, right? After, you know what I'm saying, the Lux battle, he didn't battle until 2018, whereas Lux was outside once a year, every other year, stuff like that. Now it's a situation where Mook has been outside more and Lux hasn't battled in a while. So I think that dynamic is crazy. But I think Mook is doing what he's supposed to do as a God tier. Give opportunities, right? Battle the Titans, but also give shots. I feel like Big K was a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if someone said that Mook and Big K was booked last year, they'd be like, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Even still, we're like, Mook and Big K, how does that happen? But for him to take that battle means a lot, and for him to take Twerk when Twerk is on one of his best runs of his career is just an amazing thing to see.
Could Twerk go into this battle a little bit too overconfident, or is it okay to be overconfident in this battle, fellas?
I think you have to seize the moment in this type of battle. In my opinion, I feel like you know, Tay-Rock had his hollow moment where, you know what I'm saying, he understood the importance of the battle, but he also knew that he couldn't just, you know, battle not to lose. He had to go and win. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is the same situation. Twerk has to go in there and win, not just play to lose, or not just battle to not lose.
I feel similar, and this is definitely, I mean, probably easily I don't want to say easily the biggest battle of his career because Rock on the Drake car was a big battle, but I do think it's easily one of the biggest battles of his career. And I want to see one of the best versions of him. But I will say, you know what I'm saying, while I agree with everything Lang said, when he went up against Hollow, I didn't think that was the best Twerk. I thought it was like I thought it was maybe 80% Twerk. And I think he kind of dragged him. Like you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a 30. And as I did too, I think there's debatable, you know what I'm saying? I believe it's the second that I felt like was a little debatable, but that's how, you know, ticky-tacky. I still had it as a 30. But the fact that he could do that at 80%, and that's a similar matchup where Hollow has more aura, it's more angle-based. It's not exactly like Mook, but there's similarities. So to see that was big for me. To see him not be his best and do that was big. So technically, he might not have to be his best versus Mook, but it's in NY, so he should be.
Smo, what was the battle that Twerk had when he tried to change his style up? Was it the next battle? and he tried new stuff, and he was trying to talk about
he
that.
personally said in the next battle.
Twerk, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wasn't too crazy about that, brother. Respectfully.
You don't like the jab in the rhyme pocket? He said he tried more jabs and rhyme pockets. Yeah. That's, I believe, exactly what he said.
Yeah, he did it against Mac. He did it against Hollow. Like he said that he Hollow's a strategic battler, so he was trying to be strategic and try to beat him, like, you know what I'm saying, in that way, and it worked. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the most explosive, you know what I'm saying, but I do think that like Twerk is at a point now where he can beat you straight up just from explosiveness. But now him incorporating, even if we don't like it, it's just making him a well-balanced battler. Now him incorporating the angling, the jabbing, being able to like dissect your opponent in that way just makes him even more dangerous. And then he might like fine-tune that overall package into something beautiful later down the line.
So we smoke educating. Are we saying that Murder Mook have more haymakers than Twerk?
See, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that I think that Twerk, it's all about in these big battles, including a little bit of that, like showing that you've grown in the God tier. So you want a little bit of angling, right? You want a little bit of this, but what you'll see, I'll bring it up, is JC and Surf. I thought that was a career battle, and you saw a guy that got way too far away from what he is to try to incorporate more. I don't want that. I want to see that development, but brother, you got here from dropping bombs. You better have bombs. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I need a top rope elbow power bomb through the table. We definitely need haymakers. We need haymakers every round, but that doesn't mean, oh, let me just go to the old Twerk and only do that. Show that growth, show what you've developed as a style, but don't forget what got you there is probably the best way that I could put it, because I think that's what gets the battlers a lot. I don't expect that from him though, man. He's explosive. This is New York. It's not Madison Square, but it's Madison Square battle rap. You got Mook in New York. You know what I'm saying? So I expect that he's definitely, Mook's not going to have more haymakers, but you know.
Twerk, you gotta have a strap in, my dude. I mean, that's not. I mean,
one of your best.
You have to have. It's got to be tucked in the arsenal. There's no way you go through this battle without a strapped in. And how do you feel like about not seeing a face off between Mook and Twerk?
Well, I'm still, because Jay Black has hyped it up a lot, and then he's the mark. What's
the Bunker Award 3? That shit is
Archie Bunker Award. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I will say that, like, you know, shout out to Black, the amazing marketer. I'm curious to see what Mook did say in the face off, like what his talking points were. So I did want to see the face off, and who knows? I think we might have a face off the night before. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully. But yeah, I wanted Twerk.
I don't think Twerk beats Mook in a face off. Real quick, Chess told me he lost the face off to Rex. He told me he lost.
You know, beating Harlem in a face off.
Yeah,
beating Harlem in no damn face off, man.
No, we're not doing that. We're not basing it on the face off. I don't want to have that conversation.
No, we're not. But at the same time, but I do. But here's the thing. Again, it's about selling the fight, right? This is Murder Mook versus New Jersey Twerk. I think even though I feel like the battle was big already, like, I think the Big K and Mook battle, you know, was amplified because of the face off. You're going to pay, or you will pay. You know what I'm saying? So like, I do think that like the face off was needed, but yeah.
I got Mook in the face off, Twerk in the back. I got Twerk in the battle though. Mook in the face off, Twerk in the back. Where it counts the most is the battle. I got Twerk winning that battle.
You got a 1-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
One in the face off, one in the battle, 1-1.
Right? I don't like that. They're not talking battle rap culture. It's kind of crazy when they go to that bag, man. Battle of the night, sir. Gentlemen, battle of the night.
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I'd take Mook and Twerk, even if it ends up clear. There's a really good chance that the rest of these battles are lopsided, in my opinion. Like, I think whoever wins out of Rex and Chess is going to win by a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to be too close.
Did Mook and Twerk battle last, fellas?
Yeah.
Should they battle last? Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. For me personally, it's again like it's very rarely like the main event is like the best battle. It ends up being a good battle, but I don't know about the best. It's tough for me. I'm gonna go ahead and just concede and say Mook and Twerk for now. Yeah, I'm gonna just go with that because I do think that like the stakes of that battle is pretty high, and they're gonna both have moments in that battle.
Surprise battle of the night.
Surprise battle of the night. That's probably gonna be like a surprise for sure.
If I don't pick Twerk and Mook if that's not battle of the night, I think Suge and Ace has the next, and I got my worries about that. I think it's going to be a lopsided card. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think we're going to walk away knowing a lot of the winners. I don't think we want too much debate. But if it's not Twerk and Mook, I could see Suge and Ace being the best chance of being like competitive back and forth.
Are y'all expecting any 3-0 chance?
Yes.
It's New York, man.
yes. Yes. Holy fan. Yes.
I wouldn't feel like a New York man without it, man. For the and people get mad about that too, but that's part of the sport, all of it. And unless sometimes the crowd takes over, but I expect an active crowd. I expect, man, we could even get a 2-0 chant if something gets ugly enough. I expect New York to be vocal, and that's something that makes it special. So somebody dying. So a few people might die. We don't know who yet, but it's come on.
Are we expecting a C word out of any of these battles?
I don't know. I'm keeping it real. I don't know. Yeah, I'm about to say I don't know.
They're professionals. These are big moments, but for me,
we play value versus classics, a big difference.
Yeah, I know how y'all feel. Classic gets thrown around a lot. Like, there might be some people that call it classic, but a real classic, like I know something's classic when it happens, and I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? And I don't know if any of these cards is going to have, for a back and forth reason, instant classic. I know that, but I'd love it. I'd love 6 classics. You know what I'm saying? So I'm even though I'm skeptical, I'm definitely rooting for one to go down.
We may get an all-time performance from somebody on the card though. We may. Truthfully, I feel like Jazz had one of her best performances ever against Vixen. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's a long shot in that regard. We may get a lifetime performance against one of those guys on that card. Hopefully, it's from somebody that we're expecting to have one. But if it's not, if it comes out of left field, then hey, every day a star is born.
Is there anybody you guys wanted to see on this card that's not on here?
I wanted to see. I wanted to see Jazz on this card, and Jazz actually spoke about, you know what I'm saying.
Why she went there? You know, I thought you were gonna say
who?
Jerry West.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, that goes without saying, though. I'm about to say that goes without saying.
He's going there. I'm shocked you went Jazz over Jerry West. But continue. Okay.
But I did want to see Jazz on the card just because she did amazing last time. But yeah, no, Jerry West is also another one. Jerry West versus Rock would have been amazing. That the energy for that battle with Rock's first time back in New York in a long time, right? Jerry West in New York. Last time he was in New York, he was on the Born Legacy. Now you're talking about him battling Rock. The trajectory alone is just amazing. But they dropped the ball on that. I know they're going to push that on to 2024, but that's for sure should have been on this card too.
Talk to me, man.
I thought they might have really done. I mean, it's so tough too, because I know the booking is a slippery slope. I know that some people just see the card and be like, how could they choose this? Sometimes things is a little bit out of people's control when we talk about booking. Rock versus Jerry was so rumored, people just figured it was on the card. So obviously we can mention that. We can mention a New Yorker like Jazz. And for a battle that I never thought was really going to have a chance to make this card, but a battle I still want to see. I would have loved to see Av up there maybe. I know we talk about Av and Hollow being a big battle, but even that would have been on the outside. I mean, the obvious one is Rock and Jerry. We could talk about Jazz, and then from there, it's just big matchups that you could wish could happen on any card. But I think for the most part, they hit Rex, Mook. You know what I'm saying? We would have loved Lux, but I ain't mad at nobody that can't book Lux. They know that's my point. It ain't no easy task. So
40 shorty, yeah, of course. We know
they did. I feel like they made the most of what they had. You know what I'm saying? So I give it maybe 7 out of 10 card on paper. Could be 8 out of 10 depending on how it turns out. But I'm not mad at what they did. It's on the talent now to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm giving it 3.7 mics out of 5 mics. Shout out to Drake.
All right. My brothers, I appreciate y'all taking your time, man. For real. We need to do this more often, man. I appreciate y'all very much, man.
Always available for the work, man. I love being up here. Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Man. Love y'all, man. Peace and love.